Hello student, in today's class we are going to discuss simple interest and compound interest theory part. Okay. Now our today's class index is some definition of simple interest, formula of simple interest, useful point of simple interest, installment concept, definition of compound interest, formula of compound interest and important concept of compound interest, and then last we will summarize our today's lecture. Clear? Now, there is a disclaimer. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creator and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concern or issue, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Now, see some definitions of simple interest. Simple interest is a method of calculating the interest on a loan or investment based on the principal amount. Clear? The initial amount of money. What is the principal amount? The initial amount of the money. And the rate of interest. Unlike compound interest, simple interest does not take into account the interest earned or paid or previous period. Clear? So what is the principal? The original amount of money borrowed or invested. Clear? Principal amount is the amount you borrowed or invested in any bank or any institution. Clear? So rate of interest, the percentage charged or earned as interest per unit time, usually per annum. It needs to be converted to a decimal for calculation. Clear? For time, T depends the duration for which the money is borrowed or invested, usually measured in year. Clear? Now next. So if we form these formula creating for simple interest. So P represent the principal amount, T will always represent the time, and R percent represent the rate of interest which we got on the our investment or borrowing amount. Clear? So the simple interest formula will become principal multiplying by rate multiplying by time upon 100, because the rate is in percent. So when we remove percent sign, then we divide by 100. Clear? So amount will become principal amount plus simple interest. So we can say that amount is P plus PRT upon 100, because the PRT upon 100 is the simple interest. So, or we can say that if we take P common, so it will become 1 plus RT upon 100. For example, John invests $1,000 in saving account that offer an annual simple interest rate of 5% per annum. Clear? How much interest will he earn after 3 years? This is the question. So what will be the solution become? To calculate the simple interest, we can use the formula SI PRT upon 100. P is given 1000, R is given 5% rate, and T is given 3 year. So we just put the value 1000 multiplying by 5 multiplying by 3 upon 100. So it becomes, we get simple interest which is $150. Okay. Now what is amount? The total money after including both the principal and the interest. So we can say that A represent amount, P represent the principal amount, and SI represent the simple interest. So amount is equals to P plus SI. Relation between principal, interest and amount. Same way, the relation among principal, simple interest and amount is given by A equals to P plus I. Clear? Now, time in month, if it is given that time in month. So what we can do? If time is given in month, it should be converted to years by dividing by 12. What we could do that? We divide the month by 12. So the month will be converted into year form. Okay. Simple interest for half yearly or quarter period. Adjust the time and rate accordingly. How we could do that? Let's see. For an example, find the simple interest on 200 rupees for 5 years at 6% per annum. So we know that the principal, we know that time, we know that rate of interest. So simple interest formula is PRT upon 100. So just put the values. 200 multiplying by 5 multiplying by 6 upon 100, which become 60 rupees. So now if rate of interest is half yearly, so what we can do that? R upon 2. We put rate of interest R by 2 and time we take 2 time. 2t. Clear? If rate of interest is quarterly, so we can divide R by 4 and take time 4 times. If the rate of interest is monthly, so we divide R by 12, rate of interest divided by 12%, and time will be 12t. Clear? Next one. For example, if a sum of money at simple interest double itself in a 6 year, it will become 4 times in. So question says that here amount is equals to principal plus simple interest. Now since amount is given as 2p, hence SI must be equals to p, because our principal is p and it becomes 2 times, it means p increases in 6 year, so simple interest will be p. Clear? So the formula is SI equals to PRT upon 100. So SI we have P, again P into R into T. T has 6 here. It is given in the question. So we just put the value. We get the rate of interest. So R will become 50 upon 3% per annum. Clear? Now amount is 4P. It will become 4 times. Clear? So amount is 4P. Hence SI equals to 3P. So what is the time? So 3P, we have simple interest, P is the principal, we know the R 50 by 3, and at that time we need to calculate time. So T multiply upon 100, when we calculate T becomes 18 year. Okay? Question asks it will become 4 times in how much time? So it will take 18 year to become 4 times. Clear? Next, when the borrower paid total money in some equal part, then we can say that he is paying in installment. Clear? What is the installment formation? When the borrower paid the total money in some equal parts, okay, then we can say that he is paying in installment. So what will be the formula of simple interest installment? A equals to amount x plus xr multiplying by first year upon 100 plus same way x plus xr multiplying by 2 upon 100 and dash dash dash, where a represent the total amount and x is the value of the installment. Clear? Next, let's take an example for this formula. A scooty is sold by an automatic agency for rupees 19,200 cash or 4,800 rupees cash down payment together with 5 equal monthly installment. If the rate of interest charged by the company is 12% per annum, then find each installment. Clear? So P will become 19,200 minus 4,800, which is 14,400. Now according to the formula, we just put the values in this formula. So A equals to x plus, in the bracket, x plus xr into 1 upon 100. Same way second installment will be x plus xr multiplying by 2 upon 100 and dash dash dash, in the same way x plus x into r into 4 upon 100, where A equals to P plus P into N into R upon 100. We can say that. Now we just put the values in this formula. So 14,400 is our principal amount which we need to pay. 14,400 multiplying by 12 multiplying by 5 upon 100 multiplying by 12. Clear? Because it is monthly. So what it becomes, when we solve it, we get it x plus in the bracket x plus 12x upon 12 multiplied by 100. Same way next month, x plus 12x multiplying by 2 upon 12 into 100 and dash dash dash. Same way x plus 12x multiplying by 4 upon 12 multiplying by 100. When we calculate it, we get the value 15,120 is equals to 5x plus x upon 10. So we calculate x equals to 1,51,200 upon 51, which is becomes to 2,964 rupees 70 paise. Clear? Next, what is compound interest? Compound interest is a financial concept where interest is calculated on both the initial principal amount and accumulated interest from previous period. It involves adding the interest to the principal amount, resulting in a compound effect. Clear? Compounding effect. So if principal is P, time is an year, rate is R% per annum, and interest compounded annually, then the interest compounded annually will become amount equals to P 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n, and represent time, R represent the rate of interest, P is principal. Clear? When the interest compounded half yearly, what we can do that? Amount equals to P plus 1 P into 1 plus R by 2 upon 100 to the power whole power 2n. Clear? We just do the rate dividing by 2 and multiplying the time by 2. Clear? In the same way, when the interest compounded quarterly, same way, amount will become P in the whole bracket 1 plus R upon 4 by 100 and whole to the power 4n. So in this quarterly calculation, we dividing R by 4 because compounding quarterly and multiplying the time by 4. Clear? When interest compounded monthly, so what we can do that same way, amount will become P in the whole bracket 1 plus R by 12 upon 100 to the whole power 12n. Clear? When time is in fraction of a year, or say that 3 and 4 by 5 year, so how we can calculate it? We can calculate the amount P in the whole bracket 1 plus R upon 100 to the power 3 into 1 plus R upon 100 to the power 4 by 5 because both are in years. Clear? When rate of interest is R1 during first year, R2 during second year and R3 during third year, then the amount will become P into whole bracket 1 plus R1 upon 100 multiplying 1 plus R2 upon 100 multiplying 1 plus R3 upon 100 dot 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 from n. Many times we can do that. Clear? So now see some next. There is some example for compound interest. First example is find the amount if rupees 10,000 is invested at 10% per annum for 2 years when compounded annually. It is very important to understand that the rate of interest is annually or something else. So in this question, the rate of interest is annually. So we know that amount formula is P1 plus R upon 100 to the power n. From the given data, P is 10,000, R is 10% per annum, and n is 2 years. Substituting these values, 10,000, 1 plus 10 upon 100 to the power 2. So it will become 10,000 in bracket 1 plus 0.1 whole square, which is 12,100. Clear? Next one. Next example says that what would be the CIE on rupees 17,500 at the rate of 12% per annum after 2 years. So we know that the formula of amount is equals to P1 in the whole bracket 1 plus R to the power n. For calculating compound interest, we just need subtracting principal from the amount, we get the compound interest. So in this formula will become for compound interest P whole bracket in the small bracket 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n minus 1. So we just put these values in this equation. We directly calculate the compound interest. 17,500 in the whole bracket, small bracket 1 plus 12 upon 100 square minus 1, which is 4,452. Clear? Next. Concept 1. Concept 1 says that amount equals to P 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n. CI says that amount minus principal. So what will become the formula? P 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n minus P. So the formula of compound interest, or we can write it P in the large bracket and in small bracket 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n minus 1 large bracket close. So the concept 2, what says? A sum of money placed at compound interest because n times in t year and m times in x year. So then what we can represent it? N to the power 1 upon t equals to m to the power 1 upon x. For example, a sum of money at compound interest amount to thrice itself in 3 years. Clear? In how many years it will become 9 times of itself? So 3 to the power 1 by 3 equals to 9 to the power 1 upon x. So we can write it in this formation. 3 to the power 1 upon 3 is equals to 3 to the power 2 upon x. So we can compare it because both the bases are equal. So 1 by 3 equals to 2 by x. So x equals to 6 year. The answer will be 6 year. Next. Concept third said relationship between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years. So the compound interest and simple interest relation is 200 plus R upon 200. So just see this relation for an example. Question says that if SI on a certain sum of money for 2 years at 10% per annum is 400 rupees. Find compound interest at same rate for the same time period. Clear? So the compound interest will become 210 because rate of interest is 10%. So 200 plus 10 upon 200. Clear? And CI, we need to calculate CI. So we can multiplying SI in that side. So SI is 400. It is given in the question. So 210 upon 200 multiplying by 400, which is 420. Clear? Next. When difference between compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money for 2 years at rate per R%, it is given by. So the difference will always be P multiplying in the bracket R upon 100 whole square. Clear? If you need to calculate the difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years, then the formula will become P multiplying R upon 100 whole square. Clear? For example, the difference between compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money at 5% rate per annum for 2 years is 1.50 rupee. Find the sum. So we can easily use this formula and just put the value in this formula. So the rate of difference is given 1.50 rupees. So we just put the 1.5 rupees in the difference place. We need to calculate P, but we know the rate of interest. So P multiplying by R square upon 100 square, when we calculate it, we get the value of principal, which is 600 rupees. Clear? Next. Example, the difference between simple and compound interest on a sum of 10,000 rupees is 64 for 2 years. Find the rate of interest. The difference between CI and SI for 2 years, what is the formula? Formula is PR square upon 100 square. We can say that. And we know that the difference is 64. It is given in the question. So we just put the value in this equation. 64 equals to 10,000 multiplying by R square upon 100 into 100. When we calculate it, we get the value of R, which is 8% per annum. Clear? Now the concept fifth. The difference between compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money for 3 years is given by. So now the difference is 3 years. So the formula will become PR square in the bracket 300 plus R upon 100 cube. Clear? Take an example for this formula. Now the example is, if the difference between compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money for 3 years at 5% per annum is 122 rupees. Find the sum. So we just put the value of 122 in the difference place. Clear? And we know the rate of interest, which is 5%. So P R square. So P into 5 whole square multiplying 300 plus R. R is again 5%. So 300 plus 5 upon 100 cube. When we calculate it, we get the value of P, which is 16,000. Next, concept 6. If a sum A becomes sum B in a T1 year at compound rate of interest, then after T2 year, the sum become B to the power T2 upon T1 upon A to the power T2 upon T1 minus 1. Clear? So take an example to understand this formula, this concept. Question says that the concept is, if a sum A become B in T1 year at compound rate of interest, then after T2 year the sum becomes. Clear? So example is 4,800 rupees become 6,000 in 4 year at a certain rate of interest of compound interest. What will be the sum after 12 year? So we just put these values in this formula. Required amount will be 6,000 to the power 12 by 4. Clear? T2 upon T1. So T2 is 12 and T1 is 4. So 12 upon 4 upon 4,800. Amount A is 4,800 to the power T2 upon T1 minus 1, which becomes 9,375 rupees. Clear? Next. Now, some important concept of compound interest. So concept 7 is, if a sum of money rupees X is divided among n part in such a manner that were placed at compound interest, amount obtained in each case remain equal, while the rate of interest on each part is R1, R2, R3 and Rn ... respectively, and time period for each part is T1, T2, T3 ... Tn respectively, then the divided part of sum will be in the ratio of 1 upon 1 plus R1 upon 100 to the power T1 ratio 1 upon 1 plus R2 upon 100 to the power T2 ratio 1 upon 1 plus R3 upon 100 to the power T3 dash 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 ratio 1 upon 1 plus Rn upon 100 to the power Tn. For example, a sum of rupees 3903 is divided between A and B so that A share at the end of the 7-year be equal to B share at the end of 9 year, compound interest being 4% per annum. Find the A share. So, by using this formula, A share ratio B share is equals to 1 upon 1 plus R, which is 4% per annum upon 100, and time is 7 year. So, we just put the value 7. Ratio 1 upon 1 plus 4 upon 100 to the power T2, which is 9 year. Clear? It is given in the question. So when we compare it, we get the relation 1 ratio 625 upon 676. When we calculate it, we get 776 ratio 625. Clear? So A share is total amount is 3,903 rupees. So 676 upon 676 plus 625 multiplying by 3,903 rupees. So it will become 2,028 rupees. So A share will be 2,028. Clear? Now summarizing our today's lecture. Simple interest. Definition. What will be the simple interest? Definition. Simple interest is a method of calculating the interest charged or earned on a principal amount over a specific period at fixed interest rate. Clear? So the formula becomes principal multiplying by rate multiplying by time upon 100. 100 will come because rate of interest is in percent form. So when we put just the integer value of R, so we divide by 100. Clear? Now, characteristics. The interest remain constant over the time since it is calculated only on the principal amount in simple interest. Clear? The total amount after T time can be calculated as amount will become P plus SI. P is principal amount, SI is simple interest. So, amount will become principal plus simple interest. For example, if you have invested 1000 rupees at interest rate of 5% per annum for 3 years, so simple interest will become 1000 multiplying by 5 multiplying by 3 upon 100, which is 150. So the total amount after 3 years, we add it 1000 plus 150, which becomes 1150 rupees. Now compound interest. What is the definition of compound interest? Compound interest is calculated on the principal amount as well as accumulated interest from previous period. This means interest is earned on interest. Clear? So the formula of amount is amount equals to principal in the bracket 1 plus R upon 100 to the power T, where R represent the rate of interest, T represent the period of time, P is the principal amount, A is the total amount after T time. Clear? Next, compound interest calculation. To find the compound interest, we need to understand that compound interest we get from subtracting principal from amount. Clear? So the formula will become compound interest equals to amount minus principal. Clear? So the characteristics. The amount of interest grows faster over time compared to the simple interest, especially as time increases. Clear? Can be compounded annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly or daily. We can calculate rate of interest at a annual time, semi-annual time, quarterly, monthly or daily basis. Clear? For example, if you invest 1000 rupee at a interest rate of 5% per annum, compounded annually for 3 years, then the amount will become amount is equals to 1001 plus R equals to 5 upon 100 cube, because time is 3 years. So power n. So when we calculate it, we got 1157.63 rupees. This is our amount. So what will be the compound interest? Compound interest equals to amount minus principal. So this is our amount and this is our 1000 is principal. When we subtract it, we got our compound interest, which is 157.63 rupees. Clear? Now, thank you.